tub of seeds, and people are excessively cunty about the package. Now, we noticed these people didn't mention the fact that the popcorn was popcorn, or popped in a corny way.
It's cool.
So you weren't going to guess it. So I bought a bag of Trust popcorn seeds a few weeks ago. They popped well and were fairly good. A bit dry, though. Popcorn.
Yes. He didn't realise he had to add his own butter.
Well, it's like you do need lots of. I wanted to renew my purchase. Unfortunately, they were out of stock. Okay, do we need to know that? So I went for the 2.5 kg bulk pack in a plastic jar. Right.
This is the jar that cuts.
No, that's another bottle. There's many bottles. It turns out. I think that was a 5 kg.
Popcorn comes in bottles, jars, and boxes.
This review's not finished yet. There's more to go. Believe it or not.
Shit.
There's more to go.
I feel like you need to go back to school.
I think you might do that fart. It was a mistake. Pablo, come and bite this brick. It was a mistake, as they turned out to be
school shooting, but school bombing.
Like, look at this. Yeah, you fucking drawn in your underpants with a crayon. It was a mistake, as they turned out to be.
The colour doesn't matter, does it?
I think someone's going on about their turd to me on one of these addiction groups earlier, and he said the thing. I said, it sounds to me like you flushed an entire packet of crayons on the. But anyway, crayons have been in my mind today.
Did he eat them?
It depends which person we're talking about. I think Ollie definitely hasn't eaten his yet, but we won't know until next week. It was a mistake because we can review his underpants. It was a mistake because they tend to be so dry and stale. A lot of the seeds didn't pop. Now I'm going to bring into question the heat of the fucking pan here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Did you heat the pan up? Maybe not.
Do you have enough patience to see if they did?
Yeah. Or do you just get one go, pop, think, fuck it, that'll do?
They're not working.
It's no one else's fault, man. You know,
I've got to cut my hand, and it's not fucking popping.
That's right. Yeah. All I want is one of those cockrings from earlier, but it broke too.
So now I'm done to watching films. I can't even do that. It's Captain America's shit.
Yeah.
The popcorn's not fucking cooked.
And tomorrow morning, the breakfast's going to be awful because of the cornflakes. There's an argument for going to an actual shop, isn't there?
Interesting. My second guess was nearly chlorine granules.
Okay.
And the reason I was thinking about that is because I've got the 5 kilogram box, which has got one of those handles that I can imagine has got the sharp bit.
Yeah, well, you'd be right, because it was one of those kind of jugs, and they always have the sharp bit there.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm calling into credibility. The cranial capacity of that twat.
A milk bottle will cut you if you pick it up wrong.
It will. You know, if you drop it and then pick it up and it's in bits, different.
I thought it was going to be a review on these plastic lids so don't detach.
Well, there's still more. There's more to this still, right?
Okay.
There's still more to this. There's still more to go.
Brains like it.
Right. So a lot of seeds didn't pop. The taste, texture, and result wasn't good at all. Not surprising if you don't cook it.
Just had the same person.
It's not only the same one. I'll have to throw them away or cook them properly. I wasted £16 only if you don't cook them.
16 quid.
Yeah. And for that price, you'd expect decent quality seeds. You have to fucking cook them.
Hang on.
Do you know what I mean?
£16.
Yeah, 2.5 kilos of popcorn seeds.
Fucking
Delivered as well.
That is quite a lot.
Most of that's going to DPD, isn't
That's
it?
a lot.
That would make a fucking lot of popcorn.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Upright,
£6 gets you a 500 gram bag in Sainsbury's.
I
get that for free.
I don't buy these popcorn kernels. I buy sometimes bags of pre-done popcorn, and it always annoys me.
Butter kiss.
I like the top
That kind of thing. But it really bothers me when you've got kernels in there that haven't popped. You would think that they've got somewhere filtering these out.
Hold up a minute. This was you, wasn't it?
No, but that's a fair point. If you buy a packet of popcorn, you don't expect to have to cook the unpopped kernels.
You always get some.
You meant to throw them away.
You always, you try not to eat them. You lose teeth. You always get some with popcorn, you know, because at the end you've got to get the thing out before it burns.
Yeah.
But do you have to cook them for them to pop? Do you wait? There's a certain time.
I think if you're not cooking them in a popcorn machine, I think, as I'm aware, the only way to cook them properly and all of them pop is like in a wok.
I cook them in a pan.
A big wok and always keep it moving.
I cook them in a pan. I don't do that.
If you cook,
I just get a pan, put some oil in the bottom, put a lid on, whack some things in there, never as many as a thing. And then they start popping. Then they pop like crazy.
Lid on.
Then near the end, they slow down in popping. You shake it a bit a couple of times. You wait a little bit. Then it pops a little bit more times. then you go with that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And there's always some not popped because
you're not using a wok.
you're not using them all. They go with on a wok. They go fucking miles. But the thing is, they burn in the pan if you don't get them out. So you're racing against burnt popcorn or a few kernels.
But
Yeah,
you would
that's
think,
it.
but you would think that a manufacturer of popcorn would have some way of filtering out the kernels rather than putting it in the bag.
without
Yeah.
a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah,
but
in that
also,
instance-
a manufacturer of popcorn who is selling popcorn is probably aware that if you unpopped kernels adds a good bit of weight.
Yeah. And they can't
So
afford.
they're making more.
And
do
they
you know, it's-
probably
there's no
don't
wastage.
give a fuck.
And then,
And,
probably
yeah.
that. And they probably
still
can't
gonna
afford
buy it,
to
yes.
thing it. They
But then
can't afford
surely-
to fucking.
Maybe you should send them a letter, and they might send you a few free
It's just,
bags.
what's the point?
So, next time I'm not going to review popcorn because while we've got an interesting debate, I don't think it's funny.
I actually did that. Yeah, this is
Because we're like ADHD, this all of us are like the bag of spectrum disorder. You know, we need a new rainbow just to describe us.
I had some bad news yesterday. So I managed to buy an aftershave, which I've already got the
Yes.
aftershave, but I wanted more of the same.
I'm going to review
What is
this.
it? What is
I'm
it?
going to review this review. I'm going to review his thing that he sent to me, right? Because I found out concerned.
Come here, in fact, hear it.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
No, that's it. So I want to be on it. Let's hear it. I haven't had his movie.
But it's about the context is everything here. So he could do his review in a minute, but the context. So I found out about Stuart's opinion on this aftershave. I sent him a message. It was very sentimental and from my heart about who you guys have specifically helped me through some really dark times. Blah blah blah. And cooking these meals, doing this with is very special and important to me to do it all right, you know. And I right next to him, I said, you know, this is really fucking made me blub doing this. It was very much.
Yeah, my
Right.
timing's been perfect.
And Stuart started this review on his delivery by going, I know exactly what you mean. And then he went into this. Yeah? Then he went into this, okay? So now telling you what you thought was similar to that.
It isn't similar.
I'll read it, because I think it's going to be
It isn't
better.
similar. It's
I'll read it, because it was sent to me directly here, in response to that. So I've done this blah, 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 blah thing. I won't read it all out. So he went, so after I told him that, he went, there were almost some tears from me last night too. I'm thinking, oh right, okay, so you know, maybe he's been thinking of how difficult it was supporting me through this tricky time. Yeah, but no. He said, I've been waiting for an aftershave to arrive. I went, okay, this seems relative. It went on. That wasn't enough. That was insulting enough. In the processing, it was to justify the comparison. Stu's gone. It was the top up of a new one that I really like, and I managed to get it less than half price on eBay. I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't really think he's got the sentimentality behind it. So, you know what I mean? I'm still howling
To
like
be
a
fair,
fucking girl here.
I've been awake for about 5 minutes.
And he goes, the package arrived. Smelled very strongly of aftershave. You would expect so. Alarm bells were ringing. I don't know why at this point. The parcel was ringing wet. That's fair. I then again see the picture, right? So I don't know what I was expecting, but I was a little bit taken back by the whole thing. It's just a smashed bottle of cheap aftershave.
It's not cheap.
What is it? It's just cheap. So I replied. I replied with this, right? Yeah. I can see how you get upset by that, mate. I can't help feel that it's not the same though. Stuart's replied to this, because mine was like, you know, it was a from the heart sentimental, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Took me depression, all these things, and addiction, all these things, and suicide. These guys have been helping me through. And so I'm being, that type of moment in man's life, and I've been sentimental about it, it's been compared to some broken aftershave seating post. So I said, I could see how you'd be upset by that, mate. You know, I can't help but feel it's not the same, though. This is what I said to him. It's joking at this point, because that was quite funny, I thought, right? And he went, as if to reiterate the seriousness of the issue. They refunded me, no dramas, but very annoying. Can't find an equivalent without spending an extra £40. I'm thinking, I feel significantly valued.
I find that amazing.
Yeah.
Because at the simultaneous time, you're going through a real deep thing.
Yeah.
And so is Stu.
Yeah.
Different fucking
The trauma was real.
Yeah.
In my defence, I had typed that message up and there was an overlap between me typing messages. So I was still
I can
saying
show them the
that.
times on this if you
I
want.
was still saying that.
Not enough.
before-
So,
And anyway, I said, no, perhaps not.
yeah, they did. I was about to get to that. Well, that was a good punchline because, like, after all that time, and I'm giggling at this stuff. I've seen the funny side. You know what I mean? It stopped me blubbing like a girl, so I was happy with that. And then he suddenly replied to my message about not being the same. He went, perhaps not. It's probably up now. He must be over his music. And that, I believe, concludes tonight's review.
Yeah, and I think it's
Been a pleasure.
a good review. Good review.
Thanks, everyone.
Well done. Chapter 1. Please fuck